The question is what the Republican Party looks like now. And Kayleigh, it's a multiracial party, to your point. It's working class, and maybe it's the future. I mean, it's Elon Musk. It is Joe Rogan and podcast. It is...
Did you guys hear that disgruntled Fox News employee on the hot mic say, "Oh, Lord," when Bret Baier floated the possibility of the GOP being the party of Elon Musk?
And maybe it's the future. I mean, it's Elon Musk. It is Joe Rogan.
So now that Trump achieved his goal of retaking the White House on the strength of hate and division, he's got to reshape Republican leadership and fulfill the promises he made to his enablers and sycophants that helped him get here. They called each other geniuses with no evidence for some clout, while laughing over how they can't wait to screw over regular Americans.
I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, "You want to quit?" They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike and you say, "That's okay, you're all gone. You're all gone." So every one of you is gone, and you are the greatest. You would be very good. Oh, you would love it.
But now that Trump's fake populism will be forced to produce results, the potentially fake supporters are going to go back to giving the middle finger to the folks that voted for them.
We got to talk to our neighbors. These guys couldn't give a damn about Michigan workers. They care about their billionaire friends like Elon Musk. This is the guy. This is the guy. Remember they caught him on tape, Elon Musk and Donald Trump talking? They were laughing about the idea of firing striking workers. You go in there and fire them before they can go on strike. Meanwhile, Musk is building his new auto plant. Not in Michigan, in Mexico. Going to build it in Mexico. And he rolled out, going to get his parts, red carpet, from China. So this is the guy that wants to be our economic czar for the country, the guy who wants to fire workers and bust unions, a guy who wants to take auto manufacturing to Mexico and source it with Chinese-made parts. You talk to your neighbors and friends and tell me if anybody in Michigan thinks that's a good idea, because it sure the hell isn't a good idea.
Trump will have to shore that up with his vehement promise to punish John Deere for its plans in Mexico, too.
John Deere tractors, I know a lot about John Deere. I love the company. But as you know, they've announced a few days ago that they're going to move a lot of their manufacturing business to Mexico. I'm just notifying John Deere right now. If you do that, we're putting a 200% tariff on everything that you want to sell into the United States, so that if I win, John Deere is going to be paying a 200%. They haven't started it yet. Maybe they haven't even made the final decision yet, but I think they have. John Deere is going to, and anybody else that does this, because it's hurting our farmers, it's hurting our manufacturing. And if you do that, you're going to have a 200% tariff put on the product that you make in Mexico, right across the border. They think they're going to make product cheaper in Mexico and then sell it in for the same prices they did before, make a lot of money by getting rid of our labor and our jobs. But if they're going to do that, we're going to put a 200% tariff on everything that they want to send back into the United States, which means one of two things. Our country's going to make a lot of money, or they're not going to build, they're not going to open, and or they're going to sell it to another country. They're entitled to do that. If they want to build in the country, in the United States, there's no tariff. You can go ahead and you can build in any one of the 50 states. You can go ahead. But if they don't want to do that, we're going to put a 200% tariff on John Deere. Mexico's taken a tremendous amount of our business, especially over the last few years with this group, because this group doesn't know what the hell they're doing. They have no idea what they're doing. Mexico is taking a lot of business, and a lot of it's done and financed by China.
I guess the plan is to tell the people that assumed he meant anything he said will abandon all their principles about foreign governments taking advantage of American businesses, because people like Musk promise future prosperity as long as you sit through an undetermined amount of time suffering.
We have to reduce spending to live within our means. Yeah, that necessarily involves some temporary hardship, but it will ensure long-term prosperity.
I'm not sure who they'll blame once the promised hardships ensue, but these seem to be afterthoughts, like another floated cabinet member that has some conflicts with the profit-driven political model that fuels Trump's existence.
We can add a few names like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He came in, and he's going to help make America healthy again. And now he's a great guy, and he really means it. He wants to do some things, and we're going to let him go to it. I just said, but Bobby, leave the oil to me. We have more liquid gold, oil and gas. We have more liquid gold than any country in the world, more than Saudi Arabia. We have more than Russia. Bobby, stay away from the liquid gold. Other than that, go have a good time, Bobby.
He wants to do some things. He might not be sure what some of those things are he wants to do, but since RFK Jr. kissed his ass, fulfilling the sole requirement of being in the club, he's unleashed to have a good time.
Clearing out the corruption in your terms, would that mean clearing out the top level federal service workers that are currently at the FDA and the CDC?
In some categories, I would say.
What does that look like? Yeah.
In some categories of workers, there are entire departments, like the nutrition departments at FDA, that have to go. That are not doing their job. They're not protecting our kids. Why do we have Fruit Loops in this country that have 18 or 19 ingredients, and you go to Canada and it's got 2 or 3?
This is one of the things RFK Jr. spoke about that appealed to his supporters. But when you tell him to go have a good time on eliminating all the food additives and harmful ingredients that are in tons of the food that we consume, Trump may be confronted with living up to his fake populism that would challenge corporations that make tons of money with our food. Something's got to give when the small collection of billionaires in the country that Trump worships and actually cares about ask him, yo, what the fuck?
There's been calls for Trump to pick you to be his running mate. If Donald Trump picked up the phone right now, asked you to be his vice president, would you say yes?
No.
And why?
Well, first of all, I would be getting a divorce from my wife, and second of all, I think President Trump's governing style is very different than mine, and and it's not a partisan choice. It's just, I wasn't sitting around looking to be, running for president. I ran for specific reasons, and I think I would really want to be holding the reins of power if I got in there to do what I need to do, which a lot of things I need to do mean going up against powerful pharmaceutical companies and powerful intelligence agencies, and I'm not sure if President Trump has the appetite to do those.